Welcome to the Lokar Car Show. I'm your host, Sam Adavi, coming to you from the Pontiacs and Pigeon Forge, presented by ARP Bolts, the world leader in fastener technology. Welcome to the Lokar Car Show. This is gonna be one awesome car.
And I said, it doesn't even run yet. And look at it now, it's amazing.
Welcome to the Lokar Car Show. I'm your host, Sam Adavi. We are here at the 20th annual Pontiacs and Pigeon Forge Car Show, brought to you by ARP Fasteners, where all the proceeds are going to go to St. Jude's Children's Hospital. I just got done test driving this Trans Am. What an incredible ride that was. You're going to see more like this car, so stay tuned. I did not know Pontiacs were this old. Sarge has a 1940 two-door sedan here, and what caught my eye was the GTO emblem in the front. He's going to tell us why he did that with the see-through glass. This car is awesome. Attention to detail. Tell me about your car, Sarge.
Well, I've had it about 8.5 years, and I've been working on the roadworthiness. When I first got it, I called it a Dairy Queen car. Go a couple blocks that you didn't have to worry about it. But now we're stretching it out, been to the Street Rod Nationals, been up to Columbus. That circle had nothing there, and I found out later that if you don't have a metal piece, which was original equipment, then the air that needs to go over the radiator will escape there and you won't get to push across the radiator.
That is correct.
So I started out with a metal piece, and I went to glass, and I found somebody to do it, and it's been on there 5 years, no issues.
And Sarge built a trailer along with a ditty bag that goes in the trunk to match the trailer for your wife and grandkids. Tell us about that.
My wife has disabilities, and we used to pack the car. We'd have our canopy across the armrest in the back seat, luggage, dry food on one side, and it was jammed. And her scooter was in the back with everything else. Well, and then we couldn't take our grandkids, so I said, we need to do something to take the grandkids. So it's been a 2-year project to get that online. So I've got that built now, and we're very comfortable. We got a grandson here this weekend. And then with the scraps, I built that little trunk box for them so they can throw their ditty bag, their shoes in there, and they got something special for them.
Distance, I can tell that Rick had a Wings West body kit on his Firebird. Reminds me of the old Nopi days, and this is exactly the time that he started building this Firebird.
Well, it's a 2000 Firebird. Basically started building this a year and a half ago to replace the one that I had previously wrecked
That's why you call it Firebird 2.0, right?
Well, that's right. Needless to say, the body of it did not survive the accident, so it needed a new body.
And this is a 3800 V6, but it's got the Bonneville SSCI bottom end. That's from the supercharged vehicle, so it's got a forged bottom end to it. Rick supercharged it, making roughly 550 horsepower with a Pro Charger. That is pretty impressive. What kind of boost are you running?
I get about 8 pounds.
8 pounds of boost?
Yeah, it seems to hold that pretty well. It's losing a pound through the intercooler.
The Lamborghini doors, that's period correct. Tell us about that. Did you do that yourself?
Absolutely. It's not too difficult of a process. You actually buy a kit that will take care of it and does the hinges. Someone's done all that fancy engineering for you. You do have to bolt them into the original places, modify your quarter panel slightly, but in the end, you have a bird that can fly.
And being an engineer, like the mirrors under the hood, that was very popular back in the day.
Absolutely.
That was a big deal.
And unfortunately, this is a custom hood as well, so they didn't make mirrors that do that, so I had to kind of put that together myself, scan them into a computer, trace them out, and send them to a manufacturer.
That helps a lot, being an engineer. Lokar Car Show, presented by Appalachian Backroads. Appalachian Backroads. Virginia is for lovers. Original Parts Group Incorporated. Unbeatable quality, price, and in-stock selection for GM restoration and high-performance parts. NH Oil Undercoating Incorporated, NHOU, the official oil-based rust-proofing system. Lokar Performance Products, quality, plain and simple. It's time for the Lokar Lowdown with Kevin Ford.
Not only do we keep these engines looking pretty, like original iconic engines, we've got breather adapters under the hood that'll help you not lose oil, not burn oil, not pollute the environment. We've got a series of chambers in here that runs the PCV system. And if you're running an original valve cover such as this Chevrolet valve cover, you can just simply hide this hose, run it to the back of your intake. If you're running a different type that shows the breather outside, we've got these cool little guys that look like an old PCV valve, but all the new modern amenities are being handled inside the valve cover. It's a really cool little trick to keep you looking original. If you're running something that runs an actual breather tube, we're accommodating that as well. If it's got oil fill, we're gonna have a cap right here for you. So if you wanna check out the whole selection we have, see us online at lokar.com.
What an absolutely rare, beautiful 1958 Pontiac Bonneville, one of only 18 made. Keith and his father picked up this vehicle and they went through it, restored it, modded it a little bit to make it updated, but this is a very rare car. Tell us about your car, Keith.
Started from scratch. My dad bought one brand new in 1958. We started with 3 cars to make this one.
Now this is one of 18 that's got 4 bucket seats. It's got mechanical fuel injection from the factory. The coolest feature I think on this, if you guys remember the early 90s, late 80s when we had the pull-out cassette decks and the CD players, this thing's original radio is a pull-out. It's got a battery operated. You can take it to the beach and listen to the music. When you got it out, there's a cover that covers the hole in the dashboard. Besides the fuel injection, you guys have updated the fuel injection on this car, put the mechanical one in the trunk so we can take a look, but underneath that cover, you guys did an awesome job of hiding the fuel injection. What kind of fuel injection did you put in this?
We just used late model LS style injectors in the computer. Most of it's original. The hood's been modified. The hood has bead rolls. We actually split the hood in 2 parts.
You and your father did most of the mechanical work on this, except for the paint, correct?
Correct, yes.
Very good job.
Yeah,
I love it.
15 years worth of work.
And you should have heard the story about his father's speed demon, being a speed demon, going fast with those drum brakes back in the day in his original 58 Bonneville. Awesome story. Now he can stop a lot quicker with those huge brakes.
Yeah, we hope so.
I'm here with Jimmy with his beautiful 56 Pontiac Star Chief. This is a really impressive car considering the powertrain has never been removed from the vehicle and it's got 60,000 original miles on the powertrain.
Well, I've had it about 25 years. I did a few modifications to it, work on the trunk, I Frenched the headlights, I built a grill in it out of 53 Chevrolet teeth. We take it to a lot of shows down on the Mississippi Gulf Coast, and we've been up here to Pigeon Forge, I think maybe 4 years, to this Pontiac show. We enjoy taking it to any of them because it's usually a center of attraction.
So what's the story behind the side pipes?
They got popular in the 50s and 60s. Guys on the East Coast, you know, saw what they was doing on the salt lakes, and they were using these for exhaust on the salt lakes. So everybody started putting them on the car, and they were called lakes pipes.
Now, are yours hooked up?
No.
They're just there for aesthetics.
They're just there for looks on this car. Some people do it, but man, they'll tear your ankles up.
Yeah, absolutely. And tell me about the dog. Does the dog go everywhere with you guys too?
That's Ty. He goes with us everywhere we go. He's 10 years old. People everywhere we go to shows know Ty.
You know, the great part about this car is the fact that he kept the original running gear in it, 60,000 original miles, and never left the body of the car, and all he's done is maintenance it. I'm here with Carl. Behind me is a 65 Pontiac Tempest with the GTO front end on it. This thing is absolutely sexy with that combination. There's a cool story behind this car as well. Tell us about the story behind this car.
Well, this car was ordered out in California. The owner he wanted a 65 GTO. His wife said no GTO, so he went to the dealership, ordered a 65 Tempest wagon, factory 4-speed, and Rally GTO gauges.
So it shows 120 miles per hour, and he didn't stop there because then he went ahead and put the bigger motor in there too, right?
Oh yeah, it's got a 468 Pontiac engine. It's bored up to 468 and with roller cam and around 500 horsepower.
So it's easily going to complement that speedometer. It went ahead from the 4-speed to the 5-speed for better road manners and fuel economy. Now, you take the family in this everywhere you go?
Oh yes, it's a cruiser.
That's awesome. I see that you have 2-piston, 13-inch front brakes along with the 14-inch brakes in the back. That really stops this car, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, it stops it.
And he went ahead and put a serpentine system front accessory drive on it just to make it reliable, so in case anything ever happens on the road, he could walk in anywhere and get himself a new serpentine belt. Thank you so much, Carl, for letting us check out your car.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
We're in beautiful Pigeon Forge, Tennessee at the 20th annual Pontiacs and Pigeon Forge Car Show, brought to you by ARP Fasteners. I'm here with Mike Blackburn. He's going to tell us a little bit about this show.
Yes, this is our 20th anniversary event. We've been putting this show on for a charity event since 2009.
Which charity is that?
St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital.
Well, that's pretty impressive. I
Yes,
bet
it
you
is.
guys have raised a lot of money.
We
over the
have.
years.
We have raised quite a bit of money.
And you guys actually outgrew the last venue.
We
correct?
did. We outgrew it 2 years ago. We moved to this location, and we have plans to expand even more here.
Well, this is a beautiful venue. You couldn't ask for better weather in a
Yes.
car show. Now, this is a Pontiac car show. For all the people who don't know, what kind of cars do they expect to see here?
You're going to see everything from 1926 Pontiac all the way up to the last year that Pontiac was built, and then also plus the modern Trans Am.
Like what's behind you.
Yes, exactly.
Take a modern Camaro.
Yes.
And this outfit has been doing this now for almost 9 years.
Exactly.
Very impressive cars have been building with the
Yes.
T-tops and the horsepower that they give
Yes.
you. Awesome. Well, you guys make sure to come out to the Pontiacs and Pigeon Forge. A lot of Pontiacs. Cars that you normally wouldn't think are Pontiacs are at this show. Let's go check it out. I'm here with Jeff, and behind me, I got his 1977 Smokey and the Bandits Trans Am. This is a beautiful car. He's gonna tell us about Burt Reynolds signing it, but first I want him to tell us about the movie Smokey and the Bandits, for those of us who may not know.
Smokey and the Bandit was about bootlegging beer out of Texas into Georgia. And the car was actually a blocker for the tractor and trailer.
And all the beer was in the tractor
All
trailer?
the beer was in the back of the tractor and trailer was full. And to me, it's one of the best movies of all time.
And tell us about Burt Reynolds signing it right before he passed away.
He was in here in Pigeon Forge at Bubba Fest, and I stood in line for about 4 hours and had it signed.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it was.
How much power does it make? Is it a full stock restoration?
No, it's actually an LS1 5.7 motor.
Oh, wow.
It's around 450 horsepower.
Really? Not bad. What kind of transmission is behind it?
It's got the 6-speed.
6-speed
Automatic.
Tremec. Automatic.
Yeah.
Wow. The 6L80 out of a
Yes.
out of a Cadillac or something.
It's actually out of the modern transmissions out of an 04 GTO.
There you go. That's pretty cool. What do you plan on doing with it? Do you plan on taking it to car shows anywhere across the country or anything like that, or all local?
Yeah, we're actually going to do the power tour maybe next year with it. We'd like to do the Bandit run next year also.
That's going to be fun. Hopefully I'll be able to check those out. This is an awesome 1977 Smokey and the Bandits Trans Am. For all of you guys who have not seen the movie, please go and check it out. You guys looking for a new Trans Am? It's not too late. You can still go to Trans Am Depot and get yourself a brand new car just like Mark did with his 2019 Pontiac Trans Am behind me. This is a beautiful car. Tell us about it, Mark.
Thank you. It's a Outlaw Edition built by Trans Am Worldwide, and they'll custom build it to anything you want. It's amazing what they do.
Now, which level did you get?
I got the Outlaw, and it's a 700 horsepower upgrade.
Now, what does it include in that 700 horse?
Stock engine and a supercharger.
Supercharger,
Yeah.
the LSA supercharger they
Yes,
put on this
yes.
thing? Now, what about the brake setup? Everything else pretty much stock on this?
Yeah, everything else is stock. Got the custom drilled rotors.
I love the headlights.
Okay,
I
yeah.
love the front bumper, the Firebird, but the most
Yeah.
impressive part is the fact that the T-tops on this car look so factory fresh. They look
Right.
even better than factory.
Oh, yeah.
The job they did on that is incredible.
Yeah.
In the interior, the stitch work on the headrest,
They
absolutely
perfected
beautiful.
those T-tops.
They really have. Now, how long have you owned it?
2 months.
2 months,
Yeah,
really?
yeah.
So you really
It's
don't,
new.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
brand new. So
yeah.
how many miles have you put on it since?
4,000.
4,000. So it's broken. That
Yes,
means that
it's
you've gotten
broken.
on
Yeah.
it, right?
Yeah, I bought it to drive it, not to sit and look at it.
Absolutely. You know,
Yeah.
700 horsepower is a type of horsepower where it's actually still streetable. You can go out there, floor it a couple times, and have a little bit of fun. Anything over that, you kind of get out of the box and it gets away from you. Traction control is always stopping you.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't seen the brand new Trans Am, they've been around since 2011. And they're really something to check out. They've evolved a lot since then. I'm here with Todd. He's the owner of Trans Am Worldwide. Tell us about your company, Todd.
Well, Trans Am Worldwide started as an extension of Trans Am Depot. Depot started in 2006 restoring Trans Ams and other muscle cars. And then when we got the idea to do the newer version, we broke off a branch company called Trans Am Worldwide, and we build them in Tallahassee, Florida, ship them around the world.
Now, since then, you've got to come a long way as far as your different levels you offer, correct? Tell us about that.
So in the 5th gen, we started at the basic level, NA, all the way up to, say, 500 horsepower. And we came out with the Bandit edition that we did with Burt Reynolds, the 77 edition. We upped the bar a little bit. We were putting those out at around 840. And then when we went to the 6th gen and the Super Duty version, we bumped it over 1,000. So
that's impressive.
Yeah.
You guys can get any level that fits you the best. The fit and finish behind these cars are absolutely impeccable. If you want a brand new Trans Am, make sure to check out Trans Am Worldwide. Lokar Car Show, presented by Appalachian Backroads. Spearhead Trails, get out and explore. E11 Saw, the saw that cuts straight. Brothers Truck Parts, #1 source for 1947 to 87 Chevy and GMC truck parts. Stage 8, the world's best locking fasteners. I'm here with Clay with his 1971 Pontiac Ventura, and as he was rolling into the show, I noticed the classic design of the rear end of this car, and it reminded me of a Nova, and I forgot that they shared bodies. Tell us about your Ventura, Clay.
I've had this Ventura about 5 years, and I picked it up at West Palm Beach, Florida, and we just happened to be on vacation in Panama City, and I told the wife I wanted to run down and look at this car. Ended up renting a U-Haul trailer and bringing it back home.
Sounds like a very cool wife to allow him to do that, you know? Mine would probably kill me. I love the classic look of the car, and I love the fact that they took the chrome trim and painted the same body as the car. Now, what have you done to it since you've owned it?
I've changed the springs and changed the transmission. I wanted that rake in it, you know, the front end down and back end up a little bit, that NASCAR rake, you know.
Yeah, these were very popular in NASCAR, correct?
Exactly. On short tracks around the South, a lot of these Venturas were running on the short tracks. As a matter of fact, my family ran one in Nashville.
And then what really caught your eye on this car was the interior, having the bucket seats, nice little add-on center console, but it was the 5-speed and the vintage air, right?
Well, it actually had a 4-speed in it when I first bought it, and I changed it over and put the trim at 5-speed, and it made a world of difference as far as cruising goes.
It's not every day that we see a rare GTO like the one behind me. I'm here with Bill, and there's a very cool story behind this car.
Out of the 80,000 GTOs, they made 751 Ram Air cars, and this is one of the 64 that were built in Fremont, California, with the smog pump for the emissions. It's got the first year 4-piston caliper disc brakes up front. It comes standard with a 433 rear axle gear. It's a manual steering car, and it's also the first year of the shoulder belts.
Now this is one you restored yourself besides the paintwork.
Yes.
And tell the world what you do.
My background comes from NHRA drag racing. I worked on top fuel dragsters and funny cars for 15 years. I moved to North Carolina. I got a job at Dale Earnhardt Incorporated for 10 years as an engine builder in NASCAR. And then I took a year off and I did old car stuff. And then I got a job back at Joe Gibbs Racing in the engine department. And so that was 20 years of that. And now I just work from home. I built a big garage attached to my house, and I work on old cars, do maintenance, engine builds and stuff like that for people.
Very impressive. That's why the attention to detail on this car is so impeccable. He's a true mechanic. He did everything on it himself to a T. It looks beautiful under the car, and the paint job looks good too. I'm here with Gary with his ultra rare 2+2 Pontiac Grand Prix that his mother purchased brand new. Now, only thing he's done is basically restore it, but the only mod is the LS swap. This car came in super quiet. It's got over 300,000 miles, which is really impressive. Tell us about your car, Gary.
Yeah, this is Baby. My mom named it Baby. It's got 335,000 miles.
And the engine lasted most of that time.
Yep. It had a H code 305. The only reason we pulled it is it was just getting tired, smoking a little bit. So why not upgrade to LS? It was a direct bolt in.
And I like the fact that you kept it quiet so it makes it appear stock when you're rolling into the show.
That's still the original muffler too, by the way.
That is so cool. Yeah. Now tell us about the NASCAR heritage behind this vehicle.
The program, the rules in NASCAR back in the 80s was they had to be street cars for sale to be able to use the aero package.
Yep, so, and they have to sell a certain amount of cars to be able to compete in NASCAR. Now what was included in that aero package?
You got the nose, you got the bigger aero back window and the rear spoiler and a stripe package and a handling package too.
And the rear end of this car is a fastback, similar to a hatchback design, very rare for its time. And the Monte Carlo, which is also a G-body, had a similar rear glass, but it was 3 pieces. So this one is ultra rare. What a great weekend here at the Pontiacs and Pigeon Forge Car Show. Met a lot of cool people, saw a lot of cars I didn't even think existed. And let me tell you, the influence that Burt Reynolds in the movie Smokey and the Bandits has on this group of people is absolutely unbelievable. Can't wait to come check out this show next season. I really enjoyed all my time here in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. Join us next week where we head to Seal Beach, California and show you the best of the Seal Beach Car Show that's been taking place for 33 years.